Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? So I have raked up that field right there and I've raked the other two fields back down the other end. To do this field I've brought along the Zeta. I will just show you before I actually start. I've got the Zeta with the SIP Favourite 220 on the front, and that one is kicking it out that side. If I had it on the back it would be kicking it out the other side. Yeah, so this is why I put it on the front, so that we can sort of go around the field in this direction. I think this is going to work fairly well. Well, I thought this was going to work fairly well, and it turns out that it did work fairly well. I can do all of it in like half the time, because I got that one sort of assisting with me. So if I just start up alongside this field, now I don't know how well we're going to be able to rake everything up. Remember, because we had the whole issue with we're not owning the field. However, that doesn't seem to be an issue doing raking, so we're okay with that. And then if you look behind us, you can see the Zeta is just moving everything over just a fraction, but it is picking up another little bit as well. So I mean, we do have a little bit of grass going in with that lot. It's all kind of mixing in together, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. It should end up giving us bales of hay when we finish. But yeah, this is my new technique that I found for doing this. It's just using follow me. I've got the Zeta on 15 behind the International, and it's set on a 3 meter offset. So it's really simple. It was really easy to set up. Before we go any further, my weekly question. As many of you now know, our Wiedemann, our lovely little Wiedemann wheel loader that we had, a little compact machine, was stolen. It actually got stolen. Some evil-minded thieves came into our yard, loaded it onto a lorry and took it away, and we no longer have a Wiedemann. They stole all of it. They stole all the tools and everything that went with it, and we now have no Wiedemann. The insurance company are refusing to pay out because our gates weren't locked at the time, which is even worse. So we have no Wiedemann, and we have no monetary compensation to make up for the lack of the Wiedemann. This is not a good situation, but what I want to know is, do you think that I should replace the Wiedemann with another one, because the dealership has informed me that they have another one there if we should want it, or should we continue on without it and confine the Wiedemann to our memory banks, never to use one again? It's entirely up to you. It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And for those of you who are a little bit confused, the actual reason that the Wiedemann is not on the map anymore is because I updated it. I deleted the old version and updated it because it was running two separate versions. The game didn't like that and got rid of the Wiedemann, so that's why we don't have one on the map. But I didn't want to just cheat it back in or anything like that. I thought, why not? Farms have to deal with thefts every now and then, so we've had a theft that we've had to deal with. The only problem with this whole follow me setup is that it does make the lines at the end of the rows, or like in the corners of that, it does make it a little bit messy in places. But it's working fairly well. So we're going to continue on. I can sort of pick up the pace a little bit now, and the one I have found that because I've got it not set exactly, I could run this at like 3.5 meters rather than 3 meters, but I think the corners would end up being a little bit messier, and it wouldn't like sweep them over quite as well. Doing it like this, I don't think we're going to have very much trouble at all picking up all of the crop when we come to start our baling very shortly. It's working very nicely. I'm really pleased with this. We come down here and we go on round this post here. Those silage bales I'm hoping will be ready soon, and I'm also seriously considering going off and getting some grass beef. Actually no, I don't think we will. The grass is probably going to end up setting down, going all the way down to 0 before we finish doing our hay. I am, like, occasionally we're leaving little bits behind, but I'm not overly concerned about that either. We can sort of go round with the baler and pick up the bits that we miss, and anything that we do miss completely. The one thing I really love about Seasons is that as soon as we get a bit of rain, anything that is left in the field will just rot away. It's going to be, it's brilliant. I love the fact that it does that. It's such an awesome little detail of the mod. So we don't have to worry about like going back 2 years later and having loads of stuff still left on the map. Now, I'm not sure if the one that's following will pick up as well. No, it won't. So that one is going to sort of make a bit of a mess. And we've got a bit of a mess around this tree as well. But that is... it'll work out. Let's turn that one on again. And come round the tree. Just gather that little bit up there. There we go. And that one will follow along behind. And then... the way that I did the land work, just doing the lines up and down... I actually did this a little bit different. I did one pass up through here, and then, well, you'll see. I'm going to start doing it now. And it is a little bit messy on the ends of the fields, but it does allow me to keep using the tractor following. And it's, yeah, I think that we can overlook the messiness at the end of the fields because of the final result. I think that it does actually make it worthwhile. And I will just show you the start of it, and then we're going to get started on the baling. I'd like to get the baling done today as well. So anything that we don't do today, I will finish up by myself. So I just come along like that, and all I did was I worked from one end of the field to the other. I did each ends of the field. I didn't work the fields in the middle. And if I come down through there, that will straighten up that line there. And then all I did was I kept going back over this end row here and allowed it to be moved around a few times with both of the rakes. So I don't know if this... I know that in... well, I'm pretty sure in FS15 you lost a little bit of quantity when you went over the windrow. I don't know if that still happens in this version of the game or not. So I don't know if going over the windrow over and over again does actually lose a little bit of the quantity that's left on the windrow. I'm not sure about that. That's something that we'll sort of have to find out a little bit later on down the line. Maybe we can sort of run a test or something on Northwest Texas, because that's kind of what we're doing with that map. Is we're doing a little bit of myth busting, that kind of stuff. We'll see. That's something that I'm not all that worried about it. But yeah. Oh, anyway, while I think about it, several people have been putting in the comment section how they like seeing these little old machines that we're using. I know that quite a few of you would like to see me using some new machines as well, and I will be. But what I was most impressed with is the number of people that have commented saying that they actually own and use some of the stuff that we've been using. Several people own that one that's on the front of the Zeta. That one is owned by quite a lot of people who've been watching these videos. And they use it in combination with all sorts of other things. Some of them, actually a couple people said that what they do is they put that one on the front of the tractor and a small baler on the back. And I did mention this before, and I did say it's something that I would like to try. So that is definitely one of the things on my to-do list. And put a small baler on the back of that one. I didn't want to do small baling this year. I wanted to get some more round bales, and we'll worry about small baling next year on the map. And then also the tedder that we were using last time, the SIP tedder. A lot of people said they own that one. Well, yeah, it's just a lot of people own it, and a lot of people use it on a regular basis. It just surprises me when I find a mod and I bring it out and start using it. The number of people that actually use these machines on a regular basis in real life, it's quite... I don't know. There's something quite pleasing about it. The fact that we are still using we're using machinery that everybody else is still using. I mean, I know that there's like loads of new machinery and everything here in Farming Simulator, but the fact that when I break out some of the older stuff and the smaller stuff, that you kind of, a lot of people think has now been consigned to the history books. It's really quite pleasing to me that so many people still use all of this gear. It's just one of those things. It's not like a big thing. It's just something that I personally find very pleasing. That's really all I can, like, the best way to describe it. It just pleases me immensely that so many of these things are still used on such a regular basis. It's brilliant. I really do like the fact that it's still done. Anyway, I'm going to finish up this little bit here because it can take a while. I might actually stop the Zeta following now just to do the last bit. because it did make a bit of a mess over in that field over there. And then we can get started on the baling, and we're going to use, I think we'll use the Deutz. I was considering getting another new tractor to do our baling with, but we've had an awful lot of new tractors lately, and I don't want to overdo it on the new tractors. Perhaps we'll get a new tractor a little bit later on to do one of the other jobs. We are back to the Deutz. The this is the most powerful tractor that we have on the farm. So at the moment, I think it's about 140 horsepower, something like that. Let's just pick that one up instead of dragging it across the ground. And we want to get our round baler here. Now, with the seasons mod, I know that normally, actually we could do with some fuel pretty soon. Normally when you're using your balers, you can bale up a load of hay, and then you can go along and you can wrap it, and it turns it into silage. Seasons, you can't do that. If you go and wrap grass, after a third of a season, it will turn into hay. If you wrap hay, turn into hay? No, it will turn into silage. If you go and wrap hay, however, it just keeps a plastic cover over it. I mean, I know that in real life it does turn into haylage, which is, it's kind of, it's like a halfway between silage and hay, really. It's, yeah, there's, you got both of them. And it's kind of like hay, but it will have fermented ever so slightly. Because it's dry, it obviously is not going to ferment very much. But at the same time, it will ferment a little bit. So it's not quite hay, but it's not silage. So we call it haylage. And so that's something that you get in real life. But with this game, they just, in order to sort of separate the two, because you don't actually get proper silage from it, in order to separate the two with the game, all they do is they say that if you wrap it with plastic, it'll end up being... of course, I've got the auto unload feature, haven't I? Not sure if I want to keep the auto unload thing running, actually. Might be better if I... Because we are doing some of this on a hill, it might be better if we turn that one off. So to auto unload is Z, isn't it? So we change that delay off. There we go. That's better. We will have to stop and get fuel. I'm hoping that I can finish doing this field and the next one, and then we can go and get fuel before we move over to the other farm. But we'll see about that. I asked you last week, or not last week, I asked you at the beginning of this week, rather, what you thought about me using courseplay on this map. Now, a lot of people have said that I could use courseplay, and it wouldn't really be out of the way, because I can, you know, it's like I've got lots of employees running all over the place, which is fine. And you can turn off all the lines and the dots and everything, so you don't see any of that, which isn't going to ruin any immersion, which, again, is absolutely brilliant. That's what we want. However, a lot of people have said that... don't really want to use courseplay on a map with fields this small. It does struggle quite a bit to do it. It's not as good as courseplay was in 2015, in FS15. It's just, it doesn't work as well as it used to. But mainly, a lot of people have said it, they just don't want to see courseplay being used on this map. For realism purposes. I think it's roughly half and half for yes and no for courseplay. Bale, will you stop following me? There, just stay there. That's it. So yeah, it's kind of half and half for people who want to see courseplay being used on here and who don't. Because I don't know very much about it, and I have downloaded it and I have tried it a bit. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not that fond of it. Having tried it a few times, it does do the job, it does do the tasks that you want it to do, but personally, I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't appeal to me. Auto Tractor and Auto Combine I think are absolutely brilliant, and I really love using those mods, or that mod. The AI Vehicle Extension, I think that is an absolutely fabulous mod. I don't tend to use it very much with the tractor anyway, but it is, I really do like that one, and I think it works really well. You don't have to like set up and program loads, you just put it going and away it goes. It sort of just follows the edges of fields and you don't have to worry about too much else. Now, in the Texas series, I will probably try to use courseplay a little bit and see what we can do with it. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with because it's kind of half and half, I think I'm just going to avoid using it on this map in order to try to stick with the realism. And the bit that I don't like about it is having to spend so long programming routes and setting it all up like that. It just kind of, I don't know, because we don't, I mean, I've seen self-driving tractors, Case in particular, Case International, I think it's still Case International, isn't it? They've, I follow them on Twitter, on the Frithgar Twitter feed, and I do follow them on there, so I see them coming up with various different things, and I've seen their self-driving tractors, and they're kind of like programmable tractors. It's just a tractor with no cab at all. It looks really weird, it really does, but at the same time, it's quite awesome. I mean, yes, it's kind of sad that we are getting to the point where we're going to have all of these tractors running around without any drivers on board. That's a lot of jobs that could be lost around the world eventually, but we'll worry about that particular sadness when that happens. But in the meantime, you got robot tractors going around the fields doing the various different tasks that tractors do. I think that's absolutely amazing. Robot tractors. Who knew? I mean, what an age to be alive. We got robot tractors. So you can literally go and program the tractors. Now, yes, that's... So, you know, technically, Courseplay could be realistic because we like programming our robot tractors, which is fine and all, but you wouldn't use something like that on a farm like this. That's the other point, is if you had the money to fork out for like one of those prototypes that Case are working on for self-driving tractors, you wouldn't do it on a farm like this. You'd be looking at a farm with tens of thousands of acres of land and making a vast fortune. This is not one of those types of farms. This is a much smaller type of farm, and it's not the sort that would be pumping out it's not the sort that would be pumping out the kind of cash that would make it worthwhile to lay off staff in order to buy what is quite possibly one of the most expensive prototype tractors in the world. So, yeah, we don't need to worry about it, and we will avoid using Courseplay on this map, but I will probably take a look at Courseplay on other maps due to the sheer number of people that have been asking me to use Courseplay. Now, what I will do now, I think, is I will finish doing this field so that we can at least move into the one over there before we finish this episode. And then we can... Hang on, we skip around the tree. Hopefully we'll finish that up as well, and we can make a move down to the other end. I've done the first field. I thought what I would actually do is drive down towards where our sheep farm is. Well, it's going to be. And we'll start doing the baling down there because I just wanted to try out baling behind the hay bob that we used yesterday. So I figured if we could do that, and also we can fill up with fuel while we're on our way down. We can go, well, we can either just go straight in there, or if we go on a little bit further, we can go in one of the side tracks. Actually, yes, I think we'll do that. We'll go on just a little tiny bit further. So there's... Actually, that's probably enough. We don't need to fill right up. So there's 210 litres of fuel. So we go bombing on down this way. And it's just down here, just after that big grey square block of the building. That is a very unattractive building, isn't it? That is not a sort of place that I would like to live in again. I have lived in a place like that, and it's as drab and colourless on the inside as it is on the outside. There we go, down through the mud. I love this mud patch, I really do. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I'm very tempted to put this as our screenshot for the day. I don't know, what do you think? Head into the comment section and let me know. Well, obviously you'll know by this point whether or not I decided to use this as a screenshot. But yeah, do you think this is a good screenshot, or do you think I should have one with the bales in it? I don't know why I'm asking you that, because by the time that the video goes live, you'll actually see it. Did I make the right choice with the screenshot? Obviously, I don't know yet. I'll look at some of the footage and I'll decide which makes the better screenshot. But that's what I'd like. Actually, yes, that's a really good one. Today, I'd like to hear some opinions on my screenshots, on my thumbnails. What do you think of how I do my thumbnails? I deliberately enhance all the colour on the screenshots. I started doing this a little while ago, because I felt that as they were kind of a little bit drab. So what I do is I deliberately over-enhance all the colour and the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not, is it vitality? I don't think it's vitality. It's, I'm not sure. It might be, actually. But yeah, vibrance. I deliberately enhance the colour, the colour depth and the vibrance and everything, and it makes it look more artificial. I do that quite deliberately, like really boost the colour of each of them, and so it's kind of like a stylised image. And I kind of started doing that a little while ago, and I like the effect that it produces. So I try to do that with all of my screenshots, so that it's like over stylised, it's over vibrant, or well, almost too much, but not quite. And I personally, I like the effect that it gives. It's kind of unique, because I know that a lot of screenshots that I see, a lot of thumbnails that I see from other YouTubers, and photorealism seems to be something that's sought after, and I'm not surprised, because photorealism does look really good, but especially with game shots, if that's what you're using. Right, we went halfway. I'm lagging a little bit here, so you're probably getting a little bit of lag. We've got one bale there and one bale over there. It would take quite a long time to bale up this entire field if we'd done all of it with the hay bob, because, yeah, the rows are very close. They're very, very close. Once we've gotten out, once this one's out the way, then it's all, the rest of it was all done with the new one that we bought. Okay, there's a Pottinger something. I can't remember what it was called. Just come on around here. Yeah, so I'm quite glad that we didn't do any more with the hay bob than we did. I think it probably would have been a little bit too much. I really liked using the hay bob, and I was actually looking it up. The PZ hay bob 300 is like the one that almost every farmer owned, and it's the one that I used as well. There was a bigger one that I used, and I thought that was a hay bob, but that was wrong. I gave you inaccurate information yesterday when I was talking about that. It wasn't. It was like 3 meters wide, but that wasn't actually a hay bob. It was one that was similar to a hay bob, but it was a different make and model. I cannot remember what it was, but the hay bob was just a hay bob 300. I mean, the hay bob, the PZ hay bob, there may have been others besides the 300. However, that wasn't the wide one that I was talking about. That was not a hay bob. That was something else. It looked very similar though. It had the same approach where you could do tedding and rowing up all in the same. It had 2 big reels. But yeah, I got no idea what that machine was. It was dragged out of a hedge somewhere, and we kind of tried to do some repair jobs on it, and it did work, sort of. It just wasn't that great. But yeah, so I apologise for that. I gave you inaccurate information. I hate it when I do that, and we will move on. But yeah, going back to those thumbnails, my style of approach, what do you feel about it? Do you like the way that I do my thumbnails now? Do you think that I should do them slightly differently? I'd love to hear your opinions. I like all these different aspects of running a YouTube channel. I very rarely hear other. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. My kids do as well, so I'm always hearing it in the background as well while I'm working, that kind of thing. And I very rarely hear a YouTuber talking about how they do the stuff behind the scenes. And so I sort of. Some of them do. Some YouTubers do. One YouTuber in particular I seen showing screenshots of his earnings and so on. Unfortunately for him, that was a violation of the YouTube Terms of Service, and once he found out, he removed that video pretty quickly. You're not actually allowed to disclose how much you earn. It's in the whole terms and conditions of running a YouTube channel. So that bit I can't talk about. But the rest of it, I don't see any reason why I can't talk about it. It's like a closely guarded secret or something. Oh, you spend time making thumbnails in order to make them appealing and to catch the eye. Well, of course we do. Of course, if I make a thumbnail image for a video, I want people to see the thumbnail image and go, "Ooh, I'd like to watch that video," and that's what I do. And that's what we all do. That's what being a YouTuber is about. It's like attracting an audience. So, yeah, you're my audience. You've been attracted to the video, and you've decided to settle down and actually watch it. And if you've gotten this far, you're probably fairly dedicated. So, I'd like to know what your opinion is of my thumbnails. How do you feel about how I do my thumbnail images? Do you like the kind of the stylized approach that I use? Do you think that I should do it differently? I'd love to hear all of your gone a bit too far there. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. So let's just bring that one out here and tip it out here. What I'm going to do, I've just about run out of time now, so what I'm going to do is we'll do a little bit more baling today, and I will, between now and next week, finish doing all the baling, and then next week we're going to start gathering in these bales. And I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do it. I'm thinking most likely we will go and get an Ursus bale gatherer, and we can run them in with those. We can do 8 bales at a time. Although actually thinking about that now, maybe we shouldn't. See, let's just see how much is a bale gatherer. If we go in here and we go to baling technology, the Ursus bale collector is 39. It says 3,400 euros to gather them up. And what we would do is we would gather them into heaps in each field, and then in order to save time, I want to get an auto-load trailer. The one that we've got, the Joskin trailer that we've got, is not an auto-load, but there is another one that's very similar to that I do have the mod for, that is an auto-load. I downloaded the pack from somewhere, I can't remember where now, and I do use it. It's the one that I've been using on Dowland Farm, and it's in baling technology. Do I have it active on here at the moment? No, I don't. It's not that one. So I will have it active. I will start that pack up for next week, and I think we'll use that one. We'll swap the Joskin trailers over. We'll sell the one that we've got, and we'll get another auto-load one. I did say previously that I was not going to use auto-load on this series, but I think, all things considered, it would be better if we did. Using auto-load, all it's doing is it's saving us a bit of time, and yeah, I don't really think that you want to sit and watch me load. I mean, how many bales have we done today? We've done a few bales today. We've done 27 bales so far today, and we haven't even gotten halfway through, so we're going to have well over 50 bales. Doing those all by hand is just going to be... It's going to be painful for me to do it, but most importantly, it's going to be painful for you to watch, so you're not going to want to watch it. So what's going to end up doing is I would do a little bit on camera, and then I'd have spent ages off camera loading bales onto a trailer. And quite frankly, you're not going to want to watch that, because I've already done 2 episodes on this series of manually loading bales onto a trailer from the shop where we were buying bales. So we could always do that again at a later date, but that is my justification for, in our next episode, using an auto-load trailer rather than loading all the bales by hand. But I think we will use the Ursus bale gatherer, and we'll gather them into 2 groups. We'll gather all of the bales here in these 2 fields into one heap, and we'll get the ones in the other field into another heap, and then we can see about getting them back to the farm. The biggest problem we're going to have is getting the bales under cover. We might have to do that manually, because those sheds are quite short, so we're not going to be able to... Done it again, gone on past. We're not going to be able to easily stack the bales in the shed straight off the trailer. I am wondering if we should put down one of the placeable barns, because those work with the seasons and keep the game standard ones. They work with seasons. They keep the snow mask and everything, so you can use those without worrying about your hay and your straw that's stored inside those barns getting spoiled. And if we use the right one, we'll be able to just take the bales straight in and unload without any problems. But I'll have a think about that little point, and we'll see next week when we come to gathering in the bales. But I will have all of the bales ready next week so that we can start getting them off the fields. Then the next task we need to do is get some grass for the cows, and we're going to be doing that by most likely heading over to the forestry area and trimming some of the grass around the trees, which I thought would be a a different approach to gathering grass because, maybe we got like a contract or something for mowing the grass in the forestry area. I mean, some places, some areas of forestry would actually do something like that. Not a lot of them, admittedly. Most of them, it would just leave the whatever undergrowth there was around the trees and just leave it for anything that wanted it. But they certainly wouldn't pay someone to go in with mower and gather it all up. So, I mean, maybe we've asked permission and we've gotten it, or something like that. I don't know, but we do need to take a look at doing that because we've got to get some fresh grass in for our cows so that we can boost their productivity a little bit after we've gotten the bales in. And then once we've done all that, that's pretty much it. We will have done everything that we need to do. I think we do need to put fertilizer on our corn over there, but we've got to wait for a growth stage to happen before we can do that. So we'll worry about that then. But yeah, mostly today I would like to hear your opinions and views on how I do my thumbnails, and if there is anything in particular you would like to see different about them, or if you think they're really good the way they are, let me know in the comment section. That's what I'd really like to hear about today. If you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And I will just finish up this field because I know that some of you really hate it if I exit the video if I'm just about to finish a field and I don't let you see it. Some of you really does bug, and I can understand because it would bug me as well. Right, there is a little tiny bit of hay that we missed right there, and I will get that as well. If I get all of the bits of hay, so we've got one bit there and there's 3 bits there which we can gather up. I don't think there's anything left in this field. If there is, there is a little bit over by that bale, and there's more back there. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get all of the little bits because I know how much that irritates some of you. Some of you who watch my videos, you do get, and it's an OCD thing. And if you've got OCD, it's kind of there's not a lot that you can do about it. It's just kind of a feeling. It's like I've heard it best described as an itch. It's like an itch, and if it's not done right, this itch can like stay with you for ages. Especially if you're the OCD you've got is like quite significant. It can sort of bug you for like a couple of hours afterwards, just a little detail. And so yeah, I'm sympathetic to the cause because for some things I do have like OCD like symptoms, in particular when I'm playing a game and there's like achievements and stuff. Yeah, I'm the sort of person that's got to go and get the achievements and got to gather everything up. And there are people who can play like an RPG game and can go through a dungeon and not look in every single container there is. But those sorts of people are inhuman monsters because, quite frankly, I don't know how you could do it. Yeah, so yeah. Now that we've done that field with all the bits and everything, this is Frithgar. Thank you very much for watching, and I did that completely wrong, didn't I? Yeah, my head's just gone. I've suddenly been thinking about dungeons and everything. So let's try that again, shall we? And yeah, sometimes you kind of, that's another thing with the YouTube channel. I'm talking a bit about how to run the YouTube channel today. You have like set phrases. Now everybody's familiar with my set phrases, and so occasionally I get them wrong. I get them like the wrong way round, and I don't say them properly. So then I have to say them again, and then I edit out the bit that I did wrong so that you get the correct version of it. But so today I thought I would just leave it in, and you can see me fluff my lines and try and do it again. So anyway, until next time, that's it. I've done it again. I'm nervous now. I'm on the spot. I'm like I've got to get it right now. So I'm sort of really nervous, and I'm doing it wrong. Okay, I'm not actually really nervous. I'm just making mistakes because I'm not concentrating properly. But anyway, until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later. I did it!